going to talk about some events that happened during a low point, in Israel's history. Things were looking grim. There were attitudes of negativity, and people were losing faith. Moses and the Israelites had escaped Egypt, and now the time had come to possess Canaan, the promised land. I'm going to read Numbers 13:1 and 2. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Send thou men, that they may search the land of Canaan, which I give unto the children of Israel. Of every tribe of their fathers shall ye send a man, every one a ruler among them. So Moses picked one man out of each tribe, so there was 12 of them, and they were sent to spy on the land and report back. Now I'm going to read Numbers 13:25 through 29. And they returned from searching of the land after 40 days, and they went and came to Moses and to Aaron and to all the congregation of the children of Israel unto the wilderness of Paran to Kadesh, and brought back word unto them and unto all the congregation, and showed them the fruit of the land. And they told him and said, We came into the land whither thou sent us, and surely it floweth with milk and honey, and this is the fruit of it. Nevertheless, the people be strong that dwell in the land, and the cities are walled and very great. And moreover, we saw the children of Anak there. And the Amalekites dwell in the land of the south, and the Hittites, and the Jebusites, and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea, and by the coast of Jordan. When they were there, they had found all this fruit. They came back with figs and pomegranates and, these giant grapes. And they came back and reported to Moses. They brought the fruit as instructed, and acknowledged that Canaan was indeed an abundant land. Canaan, was often described as a land that flowed with milk and honey, and dairy products made up a major part of the diet in biblical times. And honey, kind of provided the sweetness, But this phrase, Canaan, about Canaan refers to a highly desirable place with abundance of food and resources. But, where the problem was, these spies doubted that Israel could conquer, this land. The strong, well-fed Canaanites had built fortified towns. There were many ethnic groups in Canaan. There was even giants. They had mentioned the sons of Anak. The thought of taking this land had become ominous. Okay, I'm going to read Numbers 13:30 through 33. And Caleb stilled the people before Moses and said, Let us go up at once and possess it, for we are well able to overcome it. But the men that went up with him said, We be not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we. And they brought up an evil report of the land which they had searched unto the children of Israel, saying, The land through which we have gone to search it is a land that eateth up the inhabitants thereof, and all the people that we saw in it are men of a great stature. And there we saw the giants, the sons of Anak, which come of the giants, and we were in our own sight as grasshoppers, and so we were in their sight. Caleb was in a minority. There were 4 men who trusted God's promises: Moses, Aaron, Joshua, and Caleb. After Caleb spoke, the negative report resumed. The other leaders let the doubt distort the truth. There was even protests against the faithful spies. The other leaders who were faithless had focused on the obstacles, not the promises of God. Caleb spoke up to encourage the people. He had the courage to speak up for God. The word doubt comes to mind. Doubt can distort the truth. It can weaken faith. It is contagious. Lack of faith leads to complaining. Now I'm going to read Numbers 14, 1 through 4. And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, Would God that we had died in the land of Egypt, or would God we had died in this wilderness? And wherefore hath the Lord brought us unto this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and our children would be a prey? Were it not better for us to return into Egypt? And they said one to another, Let us make a captain, and let us return into Egypt. So, the people rebelled, and they were okay with living in the wilderness or even dying in bondage in Egypt, Okay, now I'm going to read Numbers 14, 5 through 9. Then Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before all the assembly of the congregation of the children of Israel. And Joshua the son of Nun, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh, which were of them that searched the land, rent their clothes. And they spake unto all the company of the children of Israel, saying, The land which we passed through to search it is an exceedingly good land. If the Lord delight in us, then he will bring us into this land and give it us, a land which floweth with milk and honey. Only rebel not ye against the Lord, neither fear ye the people of the land. For they are bread for us, their defense is departed from them, and the Lord is with us, fear them not. Okay, I was just going to add that, Joshua and Caleb, they tore their clothes, and it was kind of an act to show mourning over the loss of faith among the people. Okay, now I'm going to read Numbers 14, 10 through 19. But all the congregation bade stone them with stones, and the glory of the Lord appeared in the tabernacle of the congregation before all the children of Israel. And the Lord said unto Moses, How long will this people provoke me? And how long will it be ere they believe me? For all the signs which I have shown among them, I will smite them with the pestilence, and disinherit them, and will make of thee a greater nation, and mightier than they. And Moses said unto the Lord, Then the Egyptians shall hear it, for thou broughtest up this people in thy might from among them. And they will tell it to the inhabitants of this land, for they have heard that thou, Lord, art among this people, that thou, Lord, art seen face to face, and that thy cloud standeth over them, and that thou goest before them by day time in a pillar of a cloud, and in a pillar of fire by night. Now if thou shalt kill all this people as one man, then the nations which have heard the fame of thee will speak, saying, Because the Lord was not able to bring this people into the land which he sware unto them, therefore he hath slain them in the wilderness. And now I beseech thee, let the power of my Lord be great, according as thou hast spoken, saying, The Lord is long-suffering and of great mercy, forgiving iniquity and transgression, and by no means clearing the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation. Pardon, I beseech thee, the iniquity of this people according unto the greatness of thy mercy, and as thou hast forgiven this people from Egypt, even until now. God initially wanted to judge the faithless ones. He had a desire to judge them, and Moses interceded and God accepted, and he said he would pardon them. But there's some, things that, a couple of points, to be made. God is patient, but he will not tolerate outright rebellion. And the concerns that the faithless people had were real, but they should have believed God, they saw all the miracles of God in the wilderness, in Egypt. They saw his glory in the tabernacle, and they saw that, he had been leading them around, the cloud by day and the fire by night, and all that. And, but they would not listen to his voice. And, multiple times, they had really, denied him, Okay, I'm going to read Numbers 14, 20 through 24. And the Lord said, I have pardoned according to thy word, but as truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. Because all those men which have seen my glory and my miracles, which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have tempted me now these 10 times, and have not hearkened to my voice, surely they shall not see the land which I swear unto their fathers, neither shall any of them that provoke me see it. But my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him, and hath followed me fully, him will I bring into the land whereinto he went, and his seed shall possess it. God said in verse 24 that Caleb had another spirit with him and had followed me fully. Caleb stood out. He trusted God, and he stayed positive. He tried to inspire faith. So Caleb and Joshua was able, allowed to enter the promised land. And none of the others would make it. They would not live to enter Canaan because they rejected God and his promises. Now I'm going to read Joshua 14, 6 through 11. Then the children of Judah came unto Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite said unto him, Thou knowest the thing that the Lord said unto Moses, the man of God, concerning me and thee in Kadesh Barnea. 40 years old was I when Moses the servant of the Lord sent me from Kadesh Barnea to espy out the land, and I brought him word again, and it was in mine heart. Nevertheless, my brethren that went up with me made the heart of the people melt, but I wholly followed the Lord my God. And Moses sware on that day, saying, Surely the land whereon thy feet have trodden shall be thine inheritance and thy children's forever, because thou hast wholly followed the Lord my God. And now, behold, the Lord hath kept me alive, as he said, these 45 years, even since the Lord spake his word unto Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness. And now, lo, I am this day 85 years old. As yet I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me, as my strength was then, even so is my strength now for war, both to go out and to come in. Now Caleb was 85 years old, and he said he was as strong as when he was 40, Israel had stayed out of Canaan 45 years earlier because they feared the Anakim, those giants that were, living in the hills. And God had allotted this land for certain tribes, and it started with Caleb. He had spent 40 years in the desert because of the others' poor decisions. And now he finally gets his opportunity in his old age. How would we feel about all these, wasted years? Caleb apparently chose not to look at the number of years, spent, but on the quality of the remaining years. Just think about it, wouldn't you be bitter after, having to wait 40 years because of somebody else's bad decisions, It's just a really difficult perspective to have, that he really had. And this is really a choice, we have to, we could make every moment in life, We just got to be more like Caleb, and let's try to stay positive, and be encouragers and have that faith in God. Okay, guys, until next time.